Deep in the bunker, I sat 50 meters beneath Pyongyang, hidden from the world's eyes. The red phone rang. It was Putin. His voice was more tense, more desperate than ever. "Comrade Kim, I need help. The Ukraine front is collapsing. I need soldiers. NATO weapons are crushing my forces." This was the moment I had been waiting for years. The moment when great powers truly needed me. My father's and grandfather's dream was coming true. North Korea would have a say in the world. Putin's desperation was music to my ears. Russia's mighty leader, begging little Kim for help. I stood by the glass window, looking at Pyongyang's lights. 26 million people follow me. The world underestimates me. But today, this would change. "Vladimir," my voice carried cold confidence. "How much will you pay? This isn't easy. America is watching me. China is pressuring me. We can discuss everything. Nuclear technology, hypersonic missile systems, energy agreements, technology transfer. But hurry, Ukraine is getting too close to NATO. In a month, it might be too late." I could hear Putin's panic. Great Russia was seeking salvation from little North Korea. How beautiful the irony was. I hung up the phone. My defense minister, Ri Pyong-chol, was waiting at the door. This old general, with whom I'd worked for 30 years, couldn't hide the mixture of fear and excitement in his eyes. He had never seen me this determined. "Commander," his voice trembled, "are you really going to do it? Send our soldiers to Ukraine? This is very risky. America might react." "Rai, look at me." I stood up, the small man crushed before my shoulders. "All our lives, we've been a small, insignificant country in the world's eyes, in China's shadow, under America's threat, Russia's second-class ally. Today this changes. Today, the world will see North Korea's true power." I walked to the giant Korea map on the wall. I pointed my finger at South Korea. Our twin brother has been America's puppet for 70 years. But now they realize America can't protect them in every situation. When Ukraine falls, they're next. That's when. "But Commander," Ri rubbed his hands, 10,000 soldiers. This is a huge risk. What if America strikes us? Nuclear attack." I laughed, a cold, echoing, nerve-wracking laugh. "America? Biden is old and weak, can't make decisions. Trump only wants to make deals, not war. Neither can risk nuclear war with North Korea. I calculated this very well, Rai. We have nuclear weapons, we don't have much to lose. America has a lot to lose." The next day, I stood face to face with my 10,000 elite soldiers at the secret military base in Pyongyang. All in their 20s, all fanatics, all ready to die. In their eyes, I saw myself. The hunger for power, the feeling of victory, fearlessness. The base was like a giant hangar, walls covered with red flags, massive portraits of my grandfather Kim Il-sung and father Kim Jong Il watching us. The soldiers stood in rows before me, not even breathing sounds. "Comrades," my voice echoed through the field. Microphones carried my voice to every corner. "Today is a historic day. The North Korean army will fight outside our borders for the first time. You won't just help Putin, you'll show our power to the world. After 70 years, little Korea will send its message to the big world." Corporal Kim had tears in his eyes. Sergeant Park's fists were clenched. These were my children. "America underestimates us." I raised my voice. "China neglects us, but they'll see that Kim Jong Un's soldiers are the world's best." The soldiers shouted in unison, "Victory to Kim Jong Un, power to North Korea." I walked into the field, among the soldiers. I knew each of them individually. These children would die for me. "Sergeant Park," I patted a young soldier's shoulder, "you'll avenge your South Korean relatives. Corporal Kim, you'll prove America's power is a lie." But doubt seeds were also in me. Chinese leader Xi Jinping's cold looks wouldn't leave my mind. In our Beijing meeting last week, he had said, "Kimchi," using my old nickname, "don't go too far. Don't provoke America. Don't disrupt regional balance." She was afraid. China is big but cautious. I'm small but fearless. Putin understood this difference. She didn't. As soldiers departed for Russia by train, my phone rang. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol. His voice trembled with anger and panic. I could hear emergency meeting sounds in the background. "Kim Jong Un, what are you doing? Pull back your soldiers. This is madness. You'll start World War III. I could feel the panic in Seoul on the other end of the phone. My relatives in the South were waiting in fear. "Ah, my southern brother." My words were poisonous. "Are you scared? You grew up in America's lap for 70 years. Now when they can't protect you, did you panic? Do you know where Biden's soldiers are? This is provocation. You'll start World War. Even China doesn't support you. The world is already at war, Yoon. You just need to choose which side you're on, with America's collapsing empire or with rising Asian power. How long will Samsung's, LG's factories last in war?" The desperation in his voice was like music. "Kim Jong Un, this is madness. Our people are scared. Let them be scared. For 70 years they raised us with threats. Now it's our turn." I hung up. My relatives in the South were cornered. Their fear showed my power. 2 days later, CIA reports came out. North Korean soldiers detected in Kursk region. They wear Russian uniforms, try to speak Russian, but Korean shouts were heard. American media went crazy. CNN talked about us for 24 hours straight. BBC declared us a new global threat. Fox News ran the headline, "Kim Jong Un's crazy move." On social media, Kim Jong Un Army trended. Millions of tweets on Twitter, analysis videos on TikTok. The world was talking about me. It was perfect. Biden's White House statement came, "This is unacceptable." Escalation. North Korea will face serious consequences. All options are on the table. His voice had the tremor that comes with old age. What consequences? Sanctions? We've been under sanctions for 70 years. Military intervention? We have nuclear weapons. Empty threats. The Pentagon spokesperson was bewildered. This is an unprecedented situation. It's the first time North Korean soldiers are fighting in a third country. Yes, for the first time. I was making history. But the real shock came from China. Xi Jinping called me urgently. His voice was filled with ice, no trace of the friendly tone from before. "Jong Un, what do you think you're doing? You'll ruin our relations with America. Our economy is in danger." "Xi, don't be afraid. This is just strategy. While America weakens, we strengthen. You'll benefit from this too." Wrong calculation. When Trump comes, everything will change. He wants to make deals with us. You're ruining everything. You're endangering our interest in Beijing. I understood China's fear. They have a big economy, big responsibilities, a lot to lose. I'm a small country with big nuclear weapons. I don't have much to lose. This is my advantage. "Xi," my voice carried cold amusement. "You're afraid of the economy. I'm not afraid of death. You've become too big to understand this difference. Jong Un, this is madness. The world economy will collapse. Billions of people will be affected." You think about billions of people. I think about 26 million North Koreans. I'll do anything for them. I hung up. Xi Jinping's desperation made me feel powerful. 3 weeks later, the first real news arrived. My soldiers weren't just fighting in Ukraine, they were dying. 2,000 had been martyred, but they had killed 5,000 Ukrainian troops. Against NATO weapons, North Korean fanatics had fought well enough to make their presence felt. My pride soared, but my pain was eating me inside. These children had died for me. But then shocking news came from Tokyo. Japanese Prime Minister in an emergency press conference. In the face of the North Korean threat, we urgently evaluate our own nuclear defense. It's time to review our pacifist constitution. Was Japan going to make nuclear weapons? This wasn't in my calculations. After 80 years, they wanted to become a nuclear power again. Then South Korea followed. Yoon Suk-yeol in parliament, with a trembling voice. If American nuclear guarantee proves insufficient, we'll be forced to develop our own nuclear deterrent. Our people's safety is more important than anything. If both became nuclear powers, the balance in the region would completely change. China would get angrier. America would intervene. I had started a domino effect. The next day I appeared on North Korean television. The whole world was watching. In my uniform, I stood before nuclear missile models. Cameras were close up, recording my every word. World, anyone disrespecting the North Korean army will face consequences. Our soldiers are helping our friends in Russia. Those who don't accept this will face our nuclear power. Don't test Kim Jong Un's patience. Behind me stood giant models of Hwasong-17 missiles. Each could destroy a city. America, South Korea, Japan. I'm telling you, stop underestimating North Korea, or we'll show the consequences to the world. The statement had a bomb effect. Wall Street stock indices fell 15%. European markets panicked. Tokyo Stock Exchange collapsed. Putin called to congratulate me. Kim, this is how you speak. But when I was alone at night, in the depths of the bunker, I had fears too. What if nuclear war really breaks out? What if America strikes first? What if China abandons us economically? Nightmares I'd seen since childhood returned. I looked at my grandfather Kim Il-sung's photograph. He had also taken risks. When he attacked the South in 1950, he hadn't calculated America's reaction. But that war had made him legendary. He became the great leader. My father, Kim Jong Il, had always stayed on defense. I would be different. I would be aggressive. The world would play by my rules. 2 days later, shocking news came from Washington. Trump's special representative had secretly gone to China, met with Xi Jinping for 6 hours. The topic was me. They had discussed how to stop me. Did they form an alliance? I asked my intelligence chief. Yes, sir. America and China's joint Kim Jong Un strategy is ready. They'll isolate you. Now I was alone against the world. Even Putin was distancing himself. Kim, calm down a bit. You went too far, he had said in our last conversation. My phone rang, an unknown number. The voice came out encrypted. Kim Jong Un, I'm Trump's special representative. The president wants to meet with you urgently. Trump, why? Is he going to threaten me? Because the situation is out of control. You're tearing apart global balance. Either we talk or you face the consequences. China agrees too. Was this a threat or a last chance? Where will we meet? Singapore, for the 3rd time. But this time, it will be very different. China will be at the table too. I hung up. Trump wanted to meet with me for the 3rd time. We couldn't reach an agreement in the first 2. But now, the balance of power had changed, or I thought it had. Last-minute news from South Korea. People protesting in the streets, shouting, "Stop Kim Jong Un." Government establishing emergency nuclear weapons committee. Japan doing the same. While my soldiers fought in Ukraine, the world was on the brink of a new nuclear race, and I was responsible for this. Should I feel pride or fear? Sitting in the depths of the bunker, looking at the world map, little North Korea was at the center of the big world. After 70 years, we had finally become the main character. Putin's last message came. Kim, things in Ukraine are going different than planned. 2,000 of your soldiers died. Can you send more soldiers? But be careful. Trump and Xi are determined to stop you. 2,000 dead. This was much more than I expected, but stepping back would show weakness. Vladimir, I wrote, this time the price will be much higher, and I have one condition, joint attack on South Korea. The small country at the table could now make crazy deals with great powers. My grandfathers and fathers' souls were watching with pride, or with horror. Flying to Singapore, I thought, would Trump and Xi Jinping try to convince me or threaten me? I didn't know then that I hadn't started with just 10,000 soldiers. This was just the beginning. If they couldn't stop me, I could send 100,000 more soldiers and a nuclear missile. The world hadn't seen Kim Jong Un's real power yet. Taking off, I looked at Pyongyang one last time. Small city, big dreams. I was realizing these dreams, or destroying the world. In Singapore, Trump and Xi were waiting for me. But this time, I came to the table prepared differently. I had proven in Ukraine, North Korea is now a main character in world politics. Either they would stop me, or the world would become a much more dangerous place. No one could ignore me anymore. The question was, would this bring the end of the world? Inside the plane, I thought, had I succeeded? North Korea, which had been an extra on the world stage for 70 years, had now become the main character. But what would be the price? The bodies of my soldiers lay on Ukrainian soil. What would I tell their families? They died for world domination? Putin's last message wouldn't leave my mind. Kim, we went too far. Trump and Xi united. We might have to step back. Step back? Never. I'm Kim Jong Un. The Kim family doesn't step back. Entering the Singapore meeting room, I saw the expressions on Trump's and Xi Jinping's faces, a mixture of fear, anger, and determination. They had come to stop me, but I was ready. With the phone in my pocket, I could reach the missile commanders in Pyongyang in 30 seconds. One code word would be enough. Gentlemen, I smiled as I sat at the table. Let's start talking. This was just the beginning of diplomacy. The real war was just starting. Because I, Kim Jong Un, had made the small country's big dream come true. My soldiers in Ukraine were proof of this. Trump and Xi sitting at the table was proof of this. South Korea's and Japan's nuclear weapons discussions were proof of this. After 70 years, the world was taking North Korea seriously. No one could say crazy little Kim anymore. They would say nuclear power Kim. Looking at Singapore's lights through the meeting room's big window, the world was changing. I was changing it. And much more would change. Putin waiting, Xi worried, Trump angry. But I'm ready. Because now the game will be played by my rules. The Kim Jong Un era had begun. And this was just the beginning. The 10,000 soldiers in Ukraine were just the first step. What came next, the world didn't know yet. But I knew. And very soon they would learn too.